Hi, I'm Adam Summer. You're listening to the Yerushalmi Talk podcast with the support of the Yeshivat Devar Yerushalayim in Har Nof, Jerusalem. This is Berechot, chapter 5, Halacha 5, and it's a very short Mishnah, very short Gemara. Basically, it's covering a discussion about errors that occur during prayer. Why is it important? Why do we care about it? And I'll tell you why. Because we know that this echoes the korban. In other words, the Shmona Esrei has roots in the as a replacement of the korban while we don't have a temple, and we see all over the place in the Torah that there's a problem with blemished offerings. So now we're talking about discussion of errors that occur in the prayer. Well, these are kind of like having blemishes in your offering, or blemishes in the service of your offering. And it's also going to be a problem. So the Mishnah says that if one prayed and made a mistake, it is a bad sign for him. And if he is a prayer leader, it is a bad sign for those who sent him to represent them, because a person's agent is like himself. They said this about Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, that he would pray for the sick, and they say, this one will live and this one will die. And they asked him, how do you know? And he answered them, if my prayer is fluent in my mouth, I know that it is accepted and the sick person will recover. And if it's not fluent in my mouth, I know that he is doomed. Now the Gemara is going to qualify the Mishnah's teaching that an error in the prayer is a bad sign. And Rabbi Rav Acha Bar Yaakov said, but it is true only if the error is committed in the blessing of the patriarchs. That's going to be the first blessing in the Shemona Esrei. And an error in the very first blessing is a sign that someone's prayer is undesirable. So, you'll hear in yeshivas where people will be saying, if you don't get the first part of the prayer right, and you better concentrate on your prayers, all the stuff that you're going to be praying for later is not going to be counted. Well, this is the source for that. And so you better get it right in the beginning, because, you can go spend a lot of time, at the end praying for health and at the end praying for parnasah. But if you're not starting it off right, it's like bringing a blemished offering. So the Mishnah stated that Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa knew whether his prayers were accepted. The Gemara gives an example of his capability. And the Gemara says it once happened with Rabban Gamliel that his son fell ill, and he sent 2 scholars to the town of Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, requesting that he seek divine mercy. By the way, it's always good to ask for someone else to pray for you. So that's basically what Rabban Gamliel is doing. He would be giving this advice to someone else. And we actually covered this before, where if your prayers are not answered, that Rabbi Manna was pointing out in Berechot, I believe it was in chapter 2, Halacha 4, but he was pointing out that that it's a sign that you should ask your Torah scholar, someone who has more pure prayer and a greater connection, to go pray on your behalf. Certainly, it's always a thing of having someone who is a Torah scholar pray on your behalf, and that's what Rabban Gamliel is doing. And Rabbi Hanina said to them, wait for me while I ascend the upper floor. And he ascended to the upper floor and then descended. And I said said to them, I am sure that the son of Rabban Gamliel is relieved of his sickness. And they determined that at that very time, he, Rabban Gamliel's son, asked for food, and that indicated that his fever had broken. Now, the scholars noted the exact time when Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa informed him of the recovery, and when they got back, they asked what time the fever had broken, and they saw that it was recorded at the same time. The Bavli also records this story as well in Bavli 34b. Now, it's also showing that, it also shows two teachings that are related to this, okay, and also the Mishnah. Gemara continues, says, Rabbi Shmuel Bar Nachmani says, if you focused your mind on your prayer, you will be informed that your prayer was accepted. And what is the scriptural basis for this teaching? It says, may you guide their mind and let your ear be attentive. So this is going to be from Tehillim 10:17, and the Radak points out, it says, may you remove worry from their hearts and help them to direct their mind toward you, and then their prayers will be worthy of acceptance. And it's unusual for a person to pray with proper concentration. Basically, if a person does concentrate properly, he must have divine help. And the Yafei Marah points out this is an assurance that his requests will be answered. There's a second teaching about this. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi said, if the lips of a person produce fruit and the words of his prayer flow effortlessly from his lips, he will be informed that his prayer was accepted. And what is the scriptural basis for this teaching? It says, one who produces fruit of the lips, then peace, peace, for far and near, says Hashem, and I will heal him. And this is in Yeshayahu 57:19, which is saying that, with the prayer of the individual, when a person prays well, heaven will grant his requests, and that it will be a sign for them that because he's guiding their minds, and he's the one who created them, and he's showing them a clue that his prayer is going to be answered. Now, one of the things that the Rambam points out in Moreh Nevuchim is that you should spend, regardless of what level you are in Judaism, you should spend 2 years, says the Rambam, training yourself to say the Shemona Esrei with perfect concentration, and that every day you should work on trying to keep your focus on it, because that's a good way to help get your prayers answered, and it's the proper way to come to Hashem and to pray. And as we see here from the Gemara with Rav Acha Bar Yaakov, that if you're making mistakes in the prayer, specifically in the first part, that your prayers are not going to be answered. It's like bringing a blemished offering, and it's considered repulsive to Hashem. And this is a big step in getting our prayers answered. Now, these are technical parts to get your prayers answered. Now, if you're a rotten person and you're sinning and you're not learning Torah, but you're coming along and you're not, and you're concentrating really well, I mean, that's good that you're concentrating, but if you're not making tshuva, and if you're not learning, it's not enough just to get these technical parts right. Now, if you are learning and you are doing tshuva, it behooves you to get these technical parts right, because otherwise you're going to have a problem getting your prayers answered, because you're bringing, offerings that have blemishes in it. You're bringing offerings that, there's blemishes in the way you're doing the avoda. And we know that, becomes like puzzle. So it's really important to get it right with, looking at yourself and doing heshbon and nefesh and trying to learn so that you can know what is right and what is wrong, and that you know what to make tshuva on. But also, it's important to get these technical parts right. And, being able to say it fluently in your mouth is a sign that you're going to be able to get more of your prayers answered, and that you're going to have a better relationship with Hashem. Have a great day.